This whole Taylor Lorenz saga of just this last one is too much fun. I'm sure the New York Post did screen captures. They're not a chintzy fly-by-night organization at all, are they? Oh, maybe they are. Well, anyway, here's the basics of the Taylor Lorenz Washington Post thing. You had the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. And Taylor Lorenz, because of course she was one of the people who got Amber Heard's back and said that this is just going to silence more victims and, she's not lying and this and that. So she wrote an article about how content creators on YouTube are becoming more trusted and more watched than like legacy news media, talking about like her newspaper and stuff like that. Basically, she wrote a Cope article about how she's not trusted and these goddamn YouTubers are. So what does the mainstream media always do when they get to that point? Like they did with PewDiePie years ago. They just shit all over the YouTuber people. They don't do a better job of their own reporting. They don't do a better job becoming more trusted.
They don't realize that, maybe the fact that those guys are more trusted says a lot about you.
Yeah, they don't do that. Oh, and by the way, how often do these YouTubers bring up Taylor Lorenz or the Washington Post and talk about how shitty they are?
I don't think they do.
Never. They never mention them. But anyway,
nobody cares.
So the Washington Post has issued 2 lengthy corrections to an article by its notorious internet culture reporter, Taylor Lorenz, who, by the way, tries to hide the fact that she's 49 years old.
Oh, God.
She tries to play it that she's in her 30s and like the hip internet. She's the Steve Buscemi meme. Hello there, fellow kids. She tries to be the hip internet culture reporter, and I think she's almost 50.
That's a rough 50.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. That's not a bad 50. I mean, I'll give her that. It's a terrible 34.
I ain't banged a blue hair since I was a lad.
So the piece, which had already been secretly edited after it was published Thursday. Oh, by the way, you want to know why people don't trust you?
Because you edit your work?
Because you use terms like secretly edited. It sounds a little fucked up. The piece, which had already been secretly edited after it was published Thursday, detailed how content creators made out big in the sensational Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation lawsuit that ended last week. 2 YouTubers, Legal Bites host Alit Mazika, and an anonymous user named That Umbrella Guy were singled out in the article. And this, again, to show you how salty and bitter these legacy media company people are, they went on Social Blade to find out how much money these motherfuckers made on their Johnny Depp Amber Heard videos. Now, let me guarantee you one thing. Whatever money that person, it says online that they made for that video,
they didn't.
It's way off. It's either way high or way low. For example, people would look at what we make on YouTube and they would go, these motherfuckers, they can't even afford to breathe, let alone have like this be all they do. But you have donations, you have subscribers on other platforms, websites, things like that. And then you have people who, they may have gotten all of these views, but maybe their video was demonetized because of the content they were discussing.
Which means you don't get that money.
You don't get the money. Well, Lorenz, citing Business Insider, claimed that Mazika earned $5,000 in 1 week by pivoting the content on her YouTube channel to nonstop trial coverage and analysis. Okay, but then she makes it sound like they did it just for the money. Dude, her channel's called Legal Bites.
Also, isn't it a little weird for you guys to shake your finger? Like, they just did this because that's what everyone wants to watch. Speaking of the article that you've probably heard about, click on our link to see our newest. Like, this is really graphic, and we don't want to show it to you, so you may want to look away while we play it 27 times in a row.
Can you believe that these people just did this to focus on something that was trending and a lot of people were talking about?
It's almost like they'd have like some sort of weird mantra, like if it bleeds, it leads.
Coming up, yeah, right, exactly. This coming from the people who invented the term, if it bleeds, it leads, are now going to wag their finger at a bunch of YouTubers fucking around on the internet.
For picking stuff that's in the social zeitgeist.
Yeah. I got bad news for you, Taylor. That's their job. What's your excuse? Like, they're just fucking around on the internet. They're supposed to be doing shit like this.
Nobody's holding them up to any sort of like journalistic standard. It's a YouTube channel.
So now Lorenz, citing Business Insider, says that Mazika made $5,000. That umbrella guy, this is quoting the article. This is Taylor Lorenz words. Remember, this is going to come back because she's going to claim she never wrote this. Quote, earned up to $80,000 last month, according to an estimate by analytics from Social Blade, adding that neither YouTuber responded to requests for comment. So that comes out how much money they made, which turned out not to be true. And then she says, well, we asked them to talk about it, and they told us no. Mazika and that umbrella guy claimed Lorenz never reached out to them prior to publication of her story. Lorenz also made a second error, wrongly attributing a statement to Depp's representative, Adam Waldman. Although a note at the bottom of the article acknowledged her story was updated to clarify comments made during Waldman's testimony, the claim that Lorenz had reached out to the YouTubers for comment was deleted without any acknowledgement. After Fox News published its story about the stealth edit, the Washington Post issued a correction at the bottom of Lorenz's report. A previous version of this story inaccurately attributed to Adam Waldman a quote describing how he contacted some internet influencers. That quote has been removed. The story has also been amended to note the Post's attempts to reach Elite Mazika and that umbrella guy for comment. Previous versions omitted or inaccurately described these attempts.
There weren't any attempts.
There weren't any attempts. Right. So then the Washington Post gets asked, hey, you guys lied. And then you didn't fix the lie until people said you were lying. Like, you had no intent of fixing this lie. Well, they responded with, that's not something we discuss on the record, but Taylor Lorenz will. She'll go on her Twitter and she'll discuss it all day long. And Johnny, do you think that she helped or hurt the situation?
Oh, I imagine, she's a journalistic professional. Had to have helped, I'm sure I mean, you wouldn't do this, put your foot in your mouth, and then decide, I'm going to go all the way up to the ankle.
Well, she goes, I'm sure the right-wing media and cable news world is spinning something up, she said, downplaying the controversy. Motherfucker, you said you talked to these people and you didn't.
I'm sure they're going to call me fake news. You did lie. So
that is like a weird getting out ahead of it cope. Oh, I'm sure they're just going to say that I made shit up and that I'm lying. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true.
That's called reporting. You should learn it.
She basically O.J. Simpson defensed herself. She's like, I didn't kill my wife. Like, nobody said you.
Look, if I was going to kill the bitch,
here's how I would do it. This says I didn't. So anyway, the two YouTubers then trashed her, basically calling her out. This says I didn't respond to requests for comment. I know I've gotten a lot of emails over the past 2 months, but I've just double checked for your name at Taylor Lorenz, and I see no email from you, Mazika said. Also, I didn't suddenly pivot. I started covering this before the trial began. Mazika accused Lorenz of mischaracterizing Business Insider's coverage of her, which she too thought was unfair. Right, all these legacy media people are going to come after these YouTubers because they're scared shitless. They're afraid of these people.
Yeah, because these people are taking your job. They're not even trying to. They're just trying to make a living. And while they're doing it, you're getting your ass blown out.
Right. You guys, I mean, they're just sitting there making videos that they think people will want to watch.
They're trying to be content creators.
Yeah. And they're kicking your ass on this because, surprise, surprise, they don't have an agenda. They're just watching the trial, enjoying it, and pointing out what they see. That's like Taylor Lorenz and a lot of these people defending Amber Heard are going, well, what was unfair? This is their new cope. What was unfair about this trial is that, people just started talking about how Amber Heard seemed crazy or whatever, and then everybody just jumped on. It's like, no, that's not what happened. We all watched her with our eyeballs. You guys don't get to spin this shit and tell us what to think anymore. We watched it with our own eyeballs, and we went, oh, this chick is a problem. Like, I've known women like her. This chick is screwed up. And then we all kind of watched it at the same time. We looked at each other and went, yeah, she's a problem. She's lying, for sure.
Like, we kind of saw, a car getting hit by a train because it chose to stop right over the tracks. And then everyone's like, but she's the victim. Like, she was the driver and she let off the gas. I kind of feel like she's responsible, okay? Just helped it happen is all I'm saying.
She later provided an update claiming Lorenz reached out to her for comment after the piece was already published, and I had to call it out. So Taylor Lorenz is a liar. And then when she gets caught lying and people go, that's not journalism, you're a fraud. She's like, this is a right-wing attack against me. And again, this is a 50-year-old woman playing these high school dramatics. Wait till you see what her coworkers did. We're going to get to that in a second.
Wait a minute. This gets deeper?
Dude, the Washington Post is a fucking preschool.
Oh, God.
It's the best thing ever. I'll just say this. This article and the next one are going to set women in the workplace back at least 25 years.
I wish it was a preschool because I think I'd actually start reading that paper again if it was all in crayon.
Yeah. My teacher tried to tell me there's no such thing as boys and girls. Why educators are full of shit. Lorenz appeared to acknowledge Mazika's public complaint, tweeting, thanks for replying, and adding she would love to incorporate your comments. Yeah, you know, after I lied about you and made shit up. And
yeah, maybe I should get it accurate now.
Would you like to comment? And then Taylor Lorenz was like, well, now they won't talk to me. Yeah, no shit.
It kind of happens when you lie about people. They're like, you know what? How about I don't give you any ammunition and we just call your shit bullshit?
Yeah, we have our own YouTube channel, as you pointed out, that gets way more views than you do. Why don't we just address it there? The Washington Post. So then that umbrella guy responded, and he said, the Washington Post lied and did not contact me before including me in their story on Johnny Depp, despite reporting they did so, the YouTuber tweeted, sharing timestamps of his tweet calling out the article and Lorenz email to him sent minutes later. Taylor. Oh, Taylor.
I know. I'll give them the smoking gun. They can't possibly use it against me. Okay, so like I'm totally talking to you now, but let's pretend it happened earlier. And I'm going to do it over this text format that could totally be screenshotted, saved, and shared.
Could you go into the metadata and change the time on this to like 10 minutes earlier? Oh, this is someone who so got caught, and this Taylor Lorenz has no ability to take an L. So instead of just going, oh, fuck, I better clean this up, she goes, no, I totally reached out to them. No, this says, Taylor, clearly it was 10 minutes after he shit on you for
I'm a victim of bullying. Shut up.
That's exactly what it is. This is a right-wing smear campaign on me. It's like, I'm pretty sure there's people pretty much middle and right that are shitting on you equally. The YouTuber tweeted, sharing timestamps of his tweet calling out the article. Yeah, Taylor, don't try and out-autism the internet. Oh, no, I sent a tweet asking him for comment. And he's like, actually, Taylor, I dug into the files, and the metadata here on the email says that. And she's like, oh, shit, that's right. They're all autistic. I forgot.
I know. I'm going to call out these people. They don't deal with trolls and other shit all the time. They couldn't possibly be well-versed in dealing with this crap.
You're right. That's the arrogance of, like, legacy media.
I'm going to take them on their battleground and win.
Right. They think that they know the field that these people are on better than they do just because they're quote-unquote journalists.
But I went to a college. I got a degree.
And let me be very clear. I don't want this chick going anywhere. I want her to stay at the Washington Post and keep working. She's the best. What would I do without you? I don't want to fire you. The Washington Post lied and did not contact me before including me in their story on Johnny Depp, despite reporting that they did so, the YouTuber tweeted, sharing timestamps of his tweet calling out the article and Lorenz's email to him. He later continued, the Washington Post also flagrantly misrepresented my earnings report and needs to correct it. Social Blade says I made between $4.9 and $79.1 thousand. Hey, Johnny, I'm going to buy a car.
Okay.
I think I'm going to spend between $5,000 and $80,000.
That's a pretty big window. Should be able to drive something through it.
Yeah. They added to the highest estimate over-reporting for dramatic effect, he said. That umbrella guy issued a statement following Fox News' first report, tweeting in part, Taylor Lorenz wrote an obvious smear piece conflating Depp support with financial gain. She flagrantly ignored the fact I've covered this case for a year while mischaracterizing what Adam Waldman said during the Depp trial. She got the factual items about their relationship wrong as well. Crazier, she lied about contacting me in the Washington Post and tried covering this up after I called it out publicly. I mean, she can't stop tripping over her dick.
I get where you say you don't want her to go anywhere, but like, I don't know, if you're the Washington Post, is this baggage worth it?
I would put it at this point. Or at this point, I would put it at this.
I mean, she's pretty dumb.
What credibility do you have left to protect anyway?
Yeah, but do you need to make, like, I mean, social media and stuff is kind of like, I don't know, the wave of the future or whatever. Do you really want the person on that part of your, just to be a, I mean, it'd be like if you elected a really, really old guy who can't climb up a flight of stairs. You'd just be making an idiot of yourself again and again and again and again.
It depends on how cynical the Washington Post is. If they say, you know what? Look at the clicks. Look at the analytics on this article. Look at the okay.
So what you're saying is if they only do it for the money and the attention,
right?
Like they called out those YouTubers for.
Yes, exactly. If they're hypocritical pieces of shit.
Oh my God.
Which I see as fully possible. Okay, what I'm saying is, like, let's say they're so cynical. Let's say they don't give a shit about the tech reporter, which they probably don't. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, you know what? If we got like a straight-laced tech reporter in here, it'd be fucking boring, and it'd be about the new Windows update and how you can do it. At least this way we're getting clicks, and it's not like it's damaging journalistic credibility. She's a fucking tech reporter.
Plus, we don't really have any of that left.
And she accuses everyone of being sexist and racist every time they call her out for being dog shit, so we'll avoid a lawsuit. Ryan says, I want Amber Heard to have a talk show. Have her replace Ellen. That'll be fun. Hulkamasha Baby says, I bought a house for between 50 and 300 grand.
Wow.
Must be a nice house.
Or a really shitty one.
Yeah, we're not sure. He made, but the guy made between $4.1 and $79,000.
And then they rounded up.
Yeah, exactly. Skeezy just threw $20 at us on PayPal. He says, dues incoming, boss man. Thank you very much. He throws $20 at us on the old PayPal. Guys, we are $360 away from our goal. If you could help us chip away at that, we need to knock that down a little bit as we're approaching the halfway point of the show here in about 40 minutes. Throw in, if you can, if you haven't this month, throw in your $10 or so a month and keep this show on the air. We have a big enough audience for such a thing, so let's go ahead and take advantage, throw in $10, and let's knock that goal down really, really quick. If you want to become a VIP, I would save that for the evening shows as we have 2 hours instead of 4 to hit the goal. But if you feel like doing it now, shit, do it now. If you're watching this video and you're not live, feel free to chime in then too, because sometimes we do miss that goal, and it is nice to have that support. Matt says, when I got hired, my boss said I would make between $7 and $400,000 a year.
Yeah, that sounds like a stable job.
Nice to give them range, you know. I do appreciate that.
You're either going to starve or you're going to have a pool.
Yeah. What do you like, starving or pools? All right, so that's not all that happened at the Washington Post. The floodgates opened up and set women in the workplace back decades. So you got the Taylor Lorenz thing first, which she's trying to play victim on now after completely fucking over two people and being a dishonest, lying reporter.
Not a good look, but okay.
Not a good look, but it's a right-wing smear job. She claimed, oh, you want to hear something fucked up about the Taylor Lorenz thing before we move on to her coworker? So a guy at Fox reports checking her, right? Mm-hmm. Saying, she didn't tell the truth on all this. Brian Stelter, who's a human bag of douche, goes on and defends Oliver Darcy and says, hey, Taylor, you know, I know you're freaking out about this, but what this guy did was totally fair. This is what journalism is. We check each other. We make sure the work is complete. Blah, blah. Like, Brian Stelter came out and actually defended journalism the way you're supposed to. And she ended up turning on him and shitting on him, too, because now he's part of the right-wing smear campaign.
Really? Brian Stelter?
Yes.
I mean,
Brian Stelter is part of the right-wing. Oh, I can't see her tweets. She protects her tweets.
The guy reminds me of just a circumcised phallus. But, I mean, Really, that would be hilarious for Brian Stelter. Just be like, look, I know something about throwing people under the bus. Nobody's throwing you under the bus, okay? You climbed under the bus.
I want to see if I can find, how often does he tweet? Oh, God, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. I'd have to scroll quite a ways.
Got to stay active to keep that attention.
Holy shit, does he love fucking tweeting, this Brian Stelter. Oh my God, this is great. You know how we said that Brian Stelter is like a yes company man and like it doesn't matter, he'll change his skin for whatever. CNN just got a new CEO. They got a new boss running the network. And the new boss said, hey, CNN, you dipshits, quit calling everything breaking news. Quit throwing that big flashy sounder behind everything. That shoom, like breaking news, serial. What's the deal? So they came out and they said, we're going to do less breaking news shit. You guys who are on this network now, you guys have been using that breaking news shit for way too long. Guess who was the first guy on the air carrying water for the new thing that they're doing? Oh, this is too good.
Let's try to do a live real-time demonstration of this, okay? Look below me, the banner says breaking news, but it's not. That's what CNN leadership is trying to fix. Let's change.
Right, you know that thing I've been doing for 15 years?
Look at the banner below me that says breaking news, but it's not. It's almost like we've been lying to your face for decades, and now we're going to do you a favor. Start selling you straight.
Dude, the audacity. And they wonder why they're writing articles talking about how YouTubers are moving in on their territory. At least these YouTubers are too autistic to be liars. Like, they just like, no, guys, I have to shoot straight with you. Like, how many YouTubers blow up their career because they can't handle it, and one day they just blow up on all their fans and go, fuck you people, I'm done. And it's like, dude, you just made 40 grand last month. And they just can't take it anymore. No, fuck you anyway. And I'm out of here. Okay, fine, I guess. We were all having fun.
Meanwhile, Brian Stelter's sitting there just, I love everyone here, especially, oh, we're firing him? He's a horrible piece of shit. Look, you need to pay attention because we're hitting you with all the breaking news. This just in, there's too much breaking news, so we're going to be the first ones to stop doing that. Oh, my God.
You know that thing I've been doing the last 5 years incessantly and acting like it was the biggest deal? There is something transparent and likable about what Brian Stelter's doing in a way, in that at least you know that this guy is just a chameleon shape-shifting piece of shit. And he's utterly
even try to hide it.
Nope.
You're watching him change his colors in real time.
Chris Cuomo is a great guy. He's just really awesome. Brian, we fired Chris Cuomo. He
Chris
tried
Cuomo's
to
a
rape
bag
me
of
once.
shit.
He stuck his finger in my asshole at a Christmas party. I've heard he's done it to a lot of people, male and female.
I passed out at his house and I woke up and my butt was bleeding. I'm not saying they're related. I'm just saying it was coincidental.
Breaking news. CNN is reporting that, oh, guys, breaking news is totally gay now. Fuck this guy. I'll say this about Brian Stelter. He must love his fucking job because he does everything he can to keep it.
Ugh. It's just how much makeup do they use to fix his brown nose before every episode?
And nothing for the hair. Nothing.
Again, like I said,
It's fascinating. He looks like a squash. His head is built like a squash.
He's like one of those animated pumpkins.
Yeah.
Banner, change the label so it says developing instead. There we go. That's more accurate. CNN CEO Chris Licht sent a memo to staffers this week outlining new guidance for using the term breaking news. He said, quote, something I've heard from people both inside and outside the organization is complaints that we overuse the breaking news banner. I agree, he said. It's become such a fixture on every channel and every network that its impact has become lost on the audience. Licht added, quote, we are truth tellers. Focus on
Oh, sorry.
We are truth tellers who admit all the wrongdoing we've done after we're caught.
After we publish it and it gets around the world 40 times, we admit that we lied.
We are truth tellers who burn our own people down at the stake. And as they're burning, they point out that we're all full of wood too.
Yes.
Not alarming our viewers. So, Tuba, now the bar for labeling a story breaking news is much higher here on CNN. I think viewers have probably already noticed this change. It's already been happening slowly for the past few
They haven't been watching.
weeks. What do you make of it?
Well, look, this is it.
Let me guess. They all think it's great.
I'd love to hear someone be like, honestly, we've got to keep warning the bells like the place is burning down and nobody can see the flames or even smell the smoke. It's all breaking news.
What do you make of it?
Well, look, this is a smart change. I think our viewers are smart enough to know that we've been promiscuous in using this term. You know, our friends over at MSN.
I think people realize we've been abusing the shit out of this term.
When were you going to point this out to the rest of us?
You guys realize you're like, hey, you know what? We found out that we kind of been blowing smoke up your ass, and you guys caught on. Good on you. We're gonna change. Like,
I mean, we didn't until the boss emailed us and told us we had to change. But
you know what? I love where his head's at. The just new direction. This is why we needed that new boss.
Bunch of brown-nosing cunts. Do you remember when the old boss had to go because of the affair, and Brian Stelter gave him a fucking ass licking on his way out? Talking about how Jeff Zucker... Can we please go back to Brian Stelter talking about Jeff Zucker? Brian Stelter, Jeff Zucker. How great of a guy he was and how good of a boss he was. Please tell me we have a clip. And now he's talking about how this is the right direction and this new boss is great and we needed change. Oh, please.
I want to end the hour with a final thought, and I'm going to go a little bit rogue here, so bear with me, okay?
Oh.
Jeff Zucker's departure was shocking to the staff of CNN.
Yeah.
But CNN was not built by just one man, not by only Ted Turner, and it was not led only by Jeff Zucker.
Built by O.J. Simpson. I mean, let's be very honest about this.
But let's be clear about one thing. When it comes to leaders, nobody gave you a reach around while he was reaming you.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Zucker.
I hope the new boss is as gentle with the servicing as Jeff was.
CNN is so much bigger than any single individual. It is about teams and teams of people, thousands of...
Big as Don Lemon's asshole.
It's about thousands of people. Why, we've already started an online streaming service with thousands of employees. That won't go belly up.
of individuals.
30 days later.
Who make up CNN. This place is not perfect. It will
What?
never be perfect.
Huh?
We will always have flaws. We will always screw up. We will always have to run corrections. We will always have to keep working to make it better and better and better every single day. That is the goal. But the people who say we're lacking journalism, that we've become an all-talk channel,
Or that we use the term breaking news too much. Oh, is he going to say fuck those people?
that we've run off and we're all opinions all the time, that Jeff Zucker led us astray, those people aren't watching CNN.
Nobody is.
Oh, yeah, nobody is.
See, I think that should be... Those people aren't watching CNN. The question is, though, who is?
You could have just cut out the word those.
People aren't watching CNN.
I love how now he's like, everything Jeff Zucker did was great. It was good. And now in this very next clip, a couple months later, oh, yeah, it's good that we're doing this. Because
I love that we're making all this. Love that we got Zucker out here and someone new, and he's got all these fresh, young ideas. Dude, I want him to keep his job at CNN, but I
Right?
want every step in the rest of his life him battling to get recognition. I'm on CNN. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
See? Nobody cares.
They're not watching CNN. They're watching complaints about CNN on other channels that don't know what they're talking about. That's the truth. Let's put the map up on screen of bureaus around the world.
What is
CNN has more bureaus around the world than almost any other news organization on the planet.
It's almost like you can effectively spread lies.
that? So does Al-Qaeda. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Hey, CNN, I know you think you feel big about this, but compare that to a map of every McDonald's. They got you beat in more countries, more numbers per country. You're just losing.
Yeah,
right?
McDonald's is in more countries than that. It doesn't mean they're good for you, Brian. Like, look at all the places we're in. Yeah, cool. So is heroin. I mean, it's not. These aren't necessarily good things, buddy. Hey, what are the little Hawaiian islands out here in the Atlantic? You know what those are?
No idea.
What the fuck are those?
Are those like the Bermuda Islands? No, because
No,
the
those are,
triangle
like,
thing's like
down
over
here,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck that is.
guys, quick research. What the fuck is this? Get back to us. Thank you.
That map covers the world. London and Moscow and Hong Kong
Thanks.
and Beijing and Nairobi and all the rest.
Then why is it flat?
That's why one of the network's slogans is "Go There." On the day Jeff Zucker resigned, CNN aired more than
Go there, and then there's a picture of the bottom of the ratings. CNN, go there.
135 reporter hits, 135 reporters in the U.S. and around the world. I'm talking about dozens of live shots from international correspondents. In just
and we
one day.
lied to you about every single one of them.
On the day Jeff Zucker resigned, CNN published more than 215 stories on the website.
That's too
Nearly
many.
90 original videos. That's a hell of a lot of news. It's a hell of a lot of journalism.
Yeah, but if you
All
don't
right.
have that much news, how do you fill that hole?
Now remember, Jeff Zucker's great. It's
A
all
lot of news and
journalism. It's all good. Flash forward to today.
I think our viewers are smart enough to know that we've been promiscuous in using this term. You know,
I love that. We've been fucking with your head, but you knew that, right?
Look, we've been totally lying to your faces, but you guys are so smart. You saw through it.
I mean, we were lying to you guys and full of shit. We were telling you stuff was breaking that wasn't really breaking, and you guys are like, what's that? I'm trying to think of the movie, Rounders. Like, oh, come on, Maurice, you're a player. You had me for it.
our friends over at MSNBC sometimes use the banner "Breaking Today." Breaking today. What is that? That's just news.
Now you're shitting on the other people for
doing the same thing you do.
Wow.
But it's because we're better now. I mean, we changed it literally less than a minute ago. We've just a whole new leaf.
CNN is the person who just became a vegan 12 hours ago and is telling
knows
you how
everything
bad
about it.
all the people who eat meat are. Yeah.
I think all of us have been guilty of it, and dialing it back will probably actually wind up generating more attention when there is actual breaking news.
I think that's the goal, right? To have it mean something different. When something's actually big breaking news, you'll actually know.
Right. You know, unlike the ball washing that you just gave the way you do things that we just played in the last video. God, Brian Stelter is such a dishonest clown. Oh, is he great. So we got off on that tangent before we got done with the Taylor
Lorenz
thing.
thing. And then her coworker's up to something too.
So, yeah, so the media has just blown up this week. First, I got to say some thank yous. Thank you to Curly Adam and Matt Melt, 10 and 5 coming in respectively. That 15 is going to knock 10 off our goal. We take 70% of the YouTube Super Chats. So we are at 350 away from our goal this morning. Let's keep that going. There's the PayPal link in the chat. Guys, why don't you go ahead and click that PayPal link and chip in. If you don't chip into the show regularly, today would be a great day to support us. We do ask that you do throw in $10 a month. A show like this does need its donation support. $3.50 a show. That's what we need to keep her going. So if you could chip in, that would be awesome. There's the PayPal link in the chat. Super Chats, memberships are a great way to give monthly support. Please do what you can so we don't have to harp on that towards the end of the show today. Thank you. So, Taylor Lorenz busted for lying again. And at 49, you're too old to be lying. I mean, at 49 years old, Taylor, shame on you for not being a more, straight shooter, as it were. Well, her colleague, Felicia Sonmez, decided that, my workplace doesn't have enough dramatic teenage shit going on.
So I'll add to it.
Why don't I complain about one of my coworkers' retweets and then make that a big internet thing? A Washington Post reporter has apologized after he was called out by a female colleague at the newspaper for retweeting a sexist joke.
Yeah, just go ahead and prove that you're not capable of handling humor.
David Weigel, who covers politics for the Jeff Bezos-owned daily newspaper, tweeted on Friday that he had removed a post that he retweeted earlier in the day. Weigel retweeted a post by a Twitter user who wrote, quote, "Every girl is bi. You just have to figure out if it's polar or sexual."
So it's not a joke. It's a statement of fact.
Right. I think we could probably find a scientist who could. It would be funny if he hashtagged it with follow the science. That would have been good. Felicia Sonmez, who also covers politics for the Washington Post, was angered by Weigel's retweet, writing, "Fantastic to work at a news outlet where retweets like this are allowed." Weigel later tweeted, "I just removed a retweet of an offensive joke. I apologize and did not mean to cause any harm." Washington Post COO Chris Karate Kelly told the New York Post, quote, Editors have made clear to the staff that the tweet was reprehensible and demeaning language or actions like that will not be tolerated. So these people are all eating themselves now. So the Washington Post publicly in one weekend had Taylor Lorenz lying about her story, and then when people called her out for it, she claimed that she was being the victim of an attack.
Right.
And then some lady has a problem with her coworker's retweet, and instead of just going to her workplace and going, could we handle this? Could we deal with this? She publicly airs her grievance on Twitter so everyone can see the dysfunction at the Washington Post.
You realize that doesn't make you look good, right, guys? Like
I also want to point out, these people are all in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
And they're behaving like kids?
They're behaving like high schoolers.
He said mean things. He said a joke that had nothing to do with me, but if you take the premise personally, it was super offensive.
Oh, by the way, last year, Sonmez sued the Washington Post, claiming she was the victim of discrimination after the newspaper barred her from covering high-profile cases involving sexual misconduct. So this chick has been a complainer forever. Oh, in 2020, she was suspended by the newspaper for mentioning a rape allegation against Kobe Bryant hours after his death. So this chick has been more trouble than she's worth for a long time, but they can't get rid of her because she's clearly someone who would sue. Clearly.
I mean, good God, man. One, I don't feel bad for that dude. You know you work with that chick. You know if she sees that tweet, she's going to blow a nipple over the whole thing. Just be like, oh, they said stuff that was sexist and demeaning, and I can't take jokes because there's no humor in my life. So, since I'm a cold, vapid, heartless bitch, I have to take it out on you. Like, you know you're in that ball.
And again, I love that it's just this thing where, like, guys, you know that people can read this shit. Like, you know people are watching you guys right now, and we look like fucking assholes right now.
Well, that's the thing. They think, we look so good right now. I mean...
No.
If there were a just world, you would have thought during that Brian Stelter thing, they would have stopped him and like, wait a minute, are we the baddies?